Well, I knew there would be one thing that would end up killing Toy Story 4. I mean, other than, of course, I made sure to save this image because it's kind of great. Other than if a cat roams into the room and just decides to chop one of the toys in half with its guts pouring out. Two trailers out today, one for a Tarantino movie, the other for a Pixar movie. I got to admit, I thought it would be the Tarantino film that would have a character just chopped in half. So I was actually not even. And I actually wasn't even anticipating that there would be another trailer coming out today. So when I saw that the trailer for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was out, I jump out of the bathtub. Ryan was already gone, decided not to get into the tub with me. So Ryan was already gone. I go in there to you. I'm like, hey, honey, you want to do a trailer review for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
You didn't even put your clothes on.
Butt naked.
Just running out butt naked.
Well, it would have been weird if I reviewed the trailer for Toy Story 4 while naked.
Yeah, just a little. Yeah, I was like, I guess I'll go ahead and do this with you. I was gonna take a shower, so I kind of feel
Well,
gross.
you already look gorgeous first thing in the morning, so really, I could have just come in with the camera live. Just already recorded. I just walk in, you're laying down on the couch. I'm like, honey, we're live. What do you think of this trailer that you haven't seen yet and you don't even know is a thing? I should have way thought through this video that I'm doing. So let's go ahead and take a look right now at a clip for Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Line. Cut! Embarrass yourself like that in front of all those goddamn people!
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one the most.
Oh my
for
god.
the summer.
Yeah, don't let my sarcasm in the LaQuisha video fool you. Of all movies that are coming out this summer, the rest of the year, I don't know, but of the movies at least coming out this summer, oh my god, I can't wait for this movie. First of all, okay, now this is a movie that, as the title suggests, it's in Hollywood, and it's in the late 1960s, and in which Leonardo DiCaprio appears to be this...
Like a washed up actor.
Yeah, very famous, but yet washed up actor, and Brad Pitt is his stunt double. But the one thing that you can tell right away, where it's like, okay, yeah, we're getting into Tarantino territory right here, which is...
Yeah, I said that to you. I was like, it's not a Tarantino movie unless you see a woman's feet somewhere.
I'm like, is this just trolling at this point? Like, he knows we're going to be looking for it. Might as well just put it front and center right there in the trailer.
It's his trademark.
Yeah, maybe that is his main trademark. You may think it's the black suits, but no, it really is the feet. If he could find out some way to disguise the feet in a black suit, I'm sure he would figure out a way to do it. Like when the trailer... I like how this trailer is paced, and I have a feeling it might be somewhat similar to how the movie is paced as well, and even how it looks, which is almost like this throwback to like a Paul Newman, Robert Redford movie, even in how Brad Pitt looks akin to Robert Redford, and this kind of Paul Newman vibe, especially from something like Slapshot that Leonardo DiCaprio has right there. This is certainly something that is starting out like it is like this love letter to Hollywood of that era, from a fight sequence here with Bruce Lee where it is very much this love letter Hollywood fantasy, even to the 60s aesthetic in general, with images like this, with
Oh, it looks so good.
this character being on television, what looks to be about the height of his career. And then all of this, honestly, even a lot of the movies that we see in this film, which is, I don't have the image pulled, but there's a lot of, when it's showing a lot of the fake movies that Leonardo DiCaprio is doing in this film, it looks like if in the late 60s there were like Tarantino style movies back then, like the World War II clip that they showed, which looks kind of like something out of Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, there's torching of Nazis in it, so I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's like if Where Eagles Dare, the Clint Eastwood movie, was a little bit more like Inglourious Basterds or like an exploitation film. There's even a sequence in there where they're making a spaghetti western, so it looks like Tarantino is putting like a lot of his style and how he's done genre films like that and directly setting them in the late 1960s. to the point where there is that kind of Hollywood fantasy going on, as well as when we see Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate in the movie, going to Hollywood, paying to see a movie that she's in, smiles wide-eyed, looking at herself on the screen.
Yeah, Margot Robbie looks awesome in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hilary Duff, you need to take some notes.
Oh, okay. So I figured it'd be funny if you just meant that in general. Like,
yeah, take that, Hilary Duff.
Just throwing shade on Hilary Duff for no reason.
Yeah, Hilary Duff, just let that sink in.
We watched this movie a couple of months ago. Like, there's 3 Manson-related movies that are out this year. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, of course. There's one that we haven't watched yet that I do want to check out. It's called Charlie Says, that has Matt Smith as Charles Manson.
I think that's on Netflix.
We'll have to give that a watch sometime.
I think. Maybe it's on HBO. I saw it somewhere.
There was one that we watched, and we reviewed it a couple of months ago, if you want to look it up. It's called Haunting of Sharon Tate, and it was awful.
Yeah. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was the story of the Tate LoBianco murders if it was like a paranormal horror film. It's bad. Like, it's like, I'm not...
disrespectful.
I mentioned this in that review where I'm like, you can certainly take, as this movie does, you can certainly take something tragic that happened and add your voice to it and add something else to it. Like, a lot of movies do that.
Especially Tarantino. I mean, Glorious Bastards, he kills Hitler.
Well, yeah. So it wasn't, in that Haunting of Sharon Tate movie, it wasn't that, like, automatically I'm just against this idea for this movie. It was just, if you're going to do something like that, you gotta have the talent and the chops to back it up. You gotta have a knack for storytelling, a knack for character, and a knack for dialogue, which that movie didn't. And if there's one person who's known for dialogue in this film, it's Quentin Tarantino, so I'm assuming.
I wonder how much this is going to deviate from history. Like, do you think...
Do I think it's going to do, like
Manson murders? I mean, Sharon Tate's not pregnant in the trailers, so I don't know.
Yeah, but those parts where you don't see her pregnant, it looks like it's a period in her life where she wasn't pregnant.
Yeah, so I don't know if Manson's going to show up in this one.
No, he is, because he's in the trailer.
Oh, that's him. Oh! I didn't realize that was...
Yeah, no, that's... Oh. I forget the actor's name, but no, that's the guy who's playing Charles Manson. And if I were to guess what this movie is going to do in terms of its storytelling, and it's what it's doing in the trailer as well, is where we have one story going on in Hollywood. We have this very superficial, and I mean that in a good way because I think that's the intent, look at the late 1960s filmmaking where it's practically an Austin Powers moment on television with him standing there dancing, her having these big Hollywood dreams, going to Hollywood, seeing herself in film, and then on the flip side of that, you have like a former A-list actor who DiCaprio plays, who's now kind of hitting a slump in his own career. So we have almost this movie already going on that, like in real life around that area at the time, is interrupted by a horror film where this very dangerous story happens in this otherwise happier universe that's going on in this film. And I like that about the movie. I like that about how it looks. How it looks like it is just this Hollywood fantasy film that is interrupted by real life, by like a very horrifically tragic event that happened. I think that's a cool way of doing it from what the trailer is showing me. As for how far they're going to go in the movie, I don't know.
It's Tarantino. I could see him going pretty far into it.
At the same time, I could also see that being weird tonally.
Yeah.
Like because...
Unless they change it a little bit.
Sure, and I don't know how much it's... Given from what I've read about this movie, I think that Sharon Tate's sister did give a blessing to this movie, from what I read.
Oh, really?
Because of that, I'm guessing it's going to be... It's a movie that'll be done tastefully, like as much as a true crime movie could be. At least... comparatively speaking to that Hilary Duff one that we watched.
Yeah, didn't Sharon Tate's family say...
I think they came out against that movie.
Yeah.
That was a bad movie, man. That movie wasn't even worth watching out of a curiosity. It was a really pretentious slog to sit through. It was pretentious.
Mm-hmm. The cast in this is great.
Yeah, if you're gonna do this, I mean, Margot Robbie looks pitch perfect to be playing Sharon Tate. I like the casting of Charles Manson. I like Al Pacino as this older, like, movie producer, manager, or whoever he's playing in the movie. And if you're going to, from what it looks like with this movie, kind of give this Newman Redford vibe to their two leads, I mean, getting DiCaprio and Brad Pitt in a movie together alone is amazing anyway. But then adding on top of that, you know, you're thinking back to movies, of course, like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and movies like that like Newman and Redford would do. They're perfect to be playing this kind of part, especially with that 60s look that Leonardo DiCaprio has going on.
Yeah.
In it.
I was
The way the hair is combed, the suits, the skinny ties.
I was doing some reading, like, about anything that Tarantino said about the movie.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I could be looking at a wrong source, but he said this is the closest to Pulp Fiction, this movie.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. I could have read like a wrong source, but
I'm glad you hit on that, because that's another thing I'm really looking forward to with this movie, because while I certainly loved movies like Inglourious Bastards and Django Unchained, I wasn't a huge fan of The Hateful Eight, but other than that, I like that this movie has more of a vibe of something that might be a little bit more, maybe not totally grounded, because even a movie like Pulp Fiction isn't a totally grounded film, but it is when you compare it to like these kind of geek love letter genre movies like Django Unchained and Inglourious Bastards. I like that this movie looks like it's going to have a bit more real moments in it, especially with, I like the link in the movie that they happen across Manson and his group, because it looks like Brad Pitt at least becomes neighbors with Sharon Tate at one point.
Yeah.
I like that that's what links it right there, but because of that, it looks like this is going to have maybe some quieter moments in it, a little more, maybe not down to earth's the right word, but like a little bit more grounded, like something like Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, or my favorite one is still Jackie Brown, versus we have this fantasy film where we're going to kill Hitler. And I loved Inglourious Bastards, don't get me wrong. There's just been a lot of those kind of movies with him recently, and which is fine, because a lot of those I really do dig. But this is reminding me more of ones that are like my favorite ones of his. Your Jackie Browns, your Pulp Fictions. And I dig that about the way this movie looks. It makes me very excited for the film.
Yeah, the last movie he did was Hateful Eight, right?
Yeah.
And this is his 9th movie. Isn't he one of the he says, like, he's only going to make 10 movies or something?
He says that, but I mean, maybe he means it. But, well, I'm sure he means it. But whether or not he does, because we've heard that before from actors to other directors who say, this is my last one, I'm not doing any more after this, and then they do.
I can see, like, why you kind of want to go out on a good note. You don't want to be the kind of person that sticks around too long and, like, kind of does the same thing over and over again. It's just...
Yeah, he doesn't want to hit a slump. And I get that. I understand that.
I think he said he wants to write, like, a book on how to be, write a screenplay. I think he said that on Howard Stern once. But
I think he said that he's wanted to write books, which I could see that, because apparently how a lot of his, or at least when he makes earlier drafts of his screenplays, apparently a lot of them do read like books, more so like novels than like a traditional screenplay.
They're very dialogue heavy and...
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows if he'll go beyond like 10 movies. I mean, for selfish reasons, I hope he does. There'll be more Tarantino movies. No, the movie's coming out
July 20th.
this summer. Yeah, this movie's coming out in July. I can't think of another movie coming out this summer that I'm more excited for this film.
LaQuisha?
Well, that goes without saying. Like, clearly the number one answer for everybody is that film. It's just like, you know, if we're taking that out of the equation, which for a lot of reasons you should.
Yeah.
I think that movie also comes out in July.
I know.
Maybe it's the same weekend. Oh, man.
One for Loquisha, please.
That would be me, because that's stupid crap's happened to me before, where there's a bunch of people in line to see the big movie out this weekend, and then up walks my happy ass to the box office that's just like, yes, one for Alvin and the Chipmunks, the road chip. You know you're in for something good when they, like, the person at the ticket booth gives you a dirty look. Like when I went up there, like, one for Unplanned. It's for work. So, okay. Well, thanks a bunch, everyone, for watching. Give us a view for. We also put up a trailer for a trailer review for Toy Story 4, and we have our Battlefield Earth Cinema Snob episode that's up as well, and it does have Lloyd in it. So it's me and Lloyd in the Battlefield Earth Cinema Snob review. So give that a look. Plus, subscribe to our channel at youtube.com/Stone Gremlin Productions. Like and share our videos, and follow us on Twitter at the Cinema Snob. We'll see you Friday with reviews of Brightburn and Aladdin as well. So we'll
Secret
see.
Life of Pets. Oh wait, no.
That's we're at an early screening for Secret Life of Pets, but we'll be reviewing that over the weekend. So we'll see you guys soon.